Hello, guys. Good morning, and welcome to the very first session of AWS Cloud Computing. All right, in this very first session, we are going to be taking the cloud computing lessons from start, from afresh. Okay, so let us look at what we are going to do today. We are going to look at what is cloud computing. That is specifically we are going to be with AWS because there are so many cloud computing companies. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have Google, and we have IBM, we have Oracle. There are so many of them. Okay, but for now, AWS is the top of all the cloud computing companies. All right. So under cloud computing, we are going to see the various services that are given. We are going to see what is PaaS, what is SaaS, and what is IaaS. Okay, and cloud computing itself is divided into compute, network, and storage. Every resource that you are going to see in cloud computing is either going to be compute, network, or storage. All right. Now, the next thing we are going to do in this very lesson, we are going to go right because our lesson is practical focus. We are not going to be talking about a lot of theory. I mean, some theory will be introduced from the beginning, but most of the time we are going to be doing a lot of practice. All right. So, we are going to take on creating a new AWS account. I'm going to march you through the process of creating a new AWS account. What you need in order to create the account is actually very easy. Okay. Then from there, we are going to create our Linux machine, our first Linux machine, and we are going to know how to connect to that Linux machine. Okay. We're going to create the two machines. We're going to create both the Linux machine and the Windows machine, and we are going to know how to connect to those two machines using Git Bash and RGP. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's just begin. So, what is cloud computing? What is cloud computing all about? We are always hearing about cloud computing. We've been hearing about cloud computing. Our relatives have been telling us about cloud computing. The internet has been talking about cloud computing. So, what is cloud computing? Now, before we enter into the what is cloud computing, I would like you to first of all know what computers do. I mean, that is the basics, okay? We are starting this from the 00 level, so it is mostly important for you to know exactly what computers do and how those computers are set up to do what they do before you can even talk about knowing cloud computing. All right, it's very, very important. So the first thing you should understand is, what do computers do? And then when you understand what computers do, and then you understand the difficulties that are encountered in doing what computers are always doing, then you know now the various solutions that cloud computing is actually bringing. All right. Now, normally everybody, most of you who are about to do cloud computing, you certainly have a laptop. Okay, you have a laptop with you. All right. Now, that your laptop with you is what we call a personal computer. Your laptop that you have is a personal computer. You have your personal computer here. All right. Now, but have you ever imagined that uh, when you move into a supermarket, you see the sales girls, they are sitting in front of a computer and inputting data in front of their personal computers, and that data is going somewhere. Okay. Have you ever imagined the type of computer that is in the background running all these computers? Like you might have like three sales girls. They are here in front of this computer. Three sales girls, they have their computer here. They are here, right? But what you need to understand is that all these their computers that are sitting in front, all the computers, they are all connected to one giant computer. One giant computer. All right. This giant computer is what we call the server. All right. This is what we call the server. So For you to be able to have a good system of computer service, you should have this network. You should have a small client computer. These ones are called client computers. Okay, you should have client computers. These are computers that the sales girls they use in putting information into the server. Okay, you should have client computers and then you should have server computers. Okay, just look at this network. Okay, in order to connect all these computers together, you need a lot of resources. You need might be there is a router somewhere. um you need might be there is an internet gateway somewhere. You need might be there is a modem to receive for you to have internet somewhere. There are a lot of interconnections that will leave you from here to have all these three, right? Not to talk of the cables that are involved and everything. All this setup has to be done in your environment. Okay, so imagine a supermarket and all this have to happen. Okay, that means there have to be another extra building where all this is happening, where all this is taking place. That is why every supermarket has an IT department. Every supermarket must have an IT department. Now, if you, as a small business person, if you want to go in for a supermarket, the first thing you should first of all start thinking is building an IT department, and which is very, very expensive. Okay, building this IT department like this, buying a server on its own is very expensive, right? A server is expensive, and then buying client machines are the normal computers that the two of us we know. Okay, client computers are the normal computers that we all know, but a server is expensive. A server is slightly different from normal machines. Of course, you can still make a normal machine a server, but it is not going to be powerful. It's not going to have the power of a server. All right, a server has slightly more capabilities than your normal personal computer. All right, so if you are going into a supermarket, or if you are trying to go into provision store, and you need to configure your environment in such a way that all your payments are pass through a sales system, a sales management system, you will need to buy all these things and come and fit. Imagine you go into a provision store and 2 months or 3 months into the ground, that provision store does not work, it does not function the way you had to function. You will need to sell all these things, okay? You need to sell all these things because these things will be there and they will cost you almost close to a million or 500K. All right, but you are not going to be capable to use it because you are off the market. Now, talking about going in and out of the market, that is just the first obstacle for you to have physical servers in your environment. Now, the next thing is, imagine you are a small business person. You just got money for to start your provision store. You don't have idea about this, and then they tell you that because the the taxation guys always come and tell you that we need your account from the starting of when you started business. In now, if you are using papers, you will not be capable to provide those accounts. It is always good to be using computer system. Okay, so computers manage systems. There are inbuilt software systems that are running in these servers that manage your business. That is the most important thing computers do. They manage your business. Okay, they have software management systems that manage your business. They manage your business from accounting, from sales, from inventory, from everything. They can even manage your business, which is as a service, like a law firm, like a finance firm, like a school, like everything. There are computer systems that manage all those things, and those computer systems are set up in the environment, in the schools, in the uh, uh, maybe law firms, or in the finance firms, or wherever they are set up there. All right, and the cost of setting up this computer system is very, very high. All right, so now uh, the idea of cloud computing has come about. What is cloud computing saying? Cloud computing is simply saying that instead of you buying all these things and coming and putting in your environment, instead of you paying workers to come and put, instead of you having a dirty environment with cables, have you ever entered an IT uh, an IT lab or an IT environment, the building of where those servers are kept, there are cables everywhere, there are routers, there are sockets, there is everything there. All right. Instead of you wasting money buying all these things like this and hiring because you need experts to come and install all these things, right? Instead of you doing all that, why not just get in contact with us? We already have these things somewhere built. Let's use Amazon because we are going to be using AWS. AWS then comes and tell you that, okay, you want to start a business. We already have the servers built. We already have the platform for the servers is already built. We already have everything built. You that is sitting in your store, you don't need anything. You just need your client machines. You see, all those that server machine that you had here, you don't need it anymore. All you need now is just your client small machines that should be standing in your building. All right. Nearly all supermarkets today, they all are functioning with the cloud. That's why you will not see them again having a separate computer lab because they are all functioning with the cloud. You just see them having some small client machines here and there. You just see them having client machines in front here, and that is all. You have the client machine in front here, and that is all. Where is the server? The server is nowhere to be found. You cannot see the server. If thieves come and break all these client machines, carry all these client machines and go with it, no problem. Information is stored somewhere in the cloud. Your information is all stored in the cloud. This is where your server now is found. You are going to build now your server, but inside AWS. Okay. You are going to build your server now inside AWS. All right. So instead of building your server in on-site, we call it on-prem. Okay. When you hear of the word, let me start using the word. When you hear of on-prem, it means you are building your servers in the on-premises. Okay. Let us use the word that will be used on-prem is you are building your servers on premises. Your servers are on premises, and then the opposite of on prem is in the cloud. All right. So somebody can ask you, are you guys in the cloud or on prem? Right. You say that we are either in the cloud or we are on prem. Right. So that is how cloud computing comes about. Now, when they talk about cloud now, what is this cloud? What is AWS actually providing as cloud? What is the cloud? Okay, we have known that a server can be built, a physical server can be built. Shall we look at a server, guys? Let's look at computer server for you to understand. This is an idea of a server, right? You see the way the server is. This is an idea of a basic small server. If you want to build a small server inside your environment, this is how the server is. You see, it is slightly different from your normal computers. A server is slightly different. Okay, so AWS tells you that instead of you buying all this server, the server is slightly expensive. Okay, the server is definitely slightly expensive, and the more you need workloads, the more you need a larger server. All right. So you see, the server is not like your normal personal computer. All right. So AWS now tells you that instead of you struggling to build all these servers, come and we already have a platform where you can build the server. So what has AWS done? Let's go back here. What has AWS done? What AWS has simply done is that AWS has simply built a system in which it is possible for you to come and create your servers from scratch. That means in order to create a computer, what do you need? In order to create a computer, your general computer, when you go to buy a computer from the market, what do you ask for? You ask for the CPU, right? What is the CPU of this computer? What is the RAM of this computer? What is the storage capacity of this computer. These are the certain things that you ask for when you go to buy your computer from the market. So Amazon has provided a possibility for you to just come there, choose what type of CPU you want, choose what type of RAM you want, choose what storage capacity you want, and then say construct my computer. Your computer will be constructed as you want. Okay. So where have they done this? They have done this in data centers. They have built data centers all around the world. Amazon has built data centers all around the world. So look at what an example of an Amazon data center looks like. This is what an example of an Amazon data center looks like. Um, this is an AWS data center. You see how large it is. I don't like the way this one is being presented. Okay, let's go directly to Google and then we ask for AWS data center. And now take my images. Okay, look at their data centers. This is a typical example of an AWS data center. All right, it has everything inclusive. It has all the environment inclusive that you can build your computer. So they call it cloud computing because you do not know where these data centers are. You just come on an interface in front of your computer and you build your computer your server in a remote environment. So it is that remote environment that they simply call the cloud. It doesn't mean that it is somewhere in the sky. No, it is not in the sky. It is actually located somewhere, built somewhere in on the ground. Okay. And if that data center is destroyed, your computer too will be destroyed. Okay, if that particular data center is destroyed, your computer may be destroyed. But what AWS does is that instead of having just one data center, AWS has so many data centers, so many of them. Okay, let's see how the data centers are. AWS data centers world map. Okay, see, look at the way AWS is configured here. Here is their data centers. They have data centers all around the world. You see, here is where how their data centers are found. Their data centers are all around the world. So AWS will tell you that you are highly secured. Okay, you are highly secured. Just come with us. We can tell you that if we put your information in this data center and the data center get destroyed, we are going to replicate your information in around three data centers. Okay, those three data centers cannot get destroyed at the same time. So your information is highly trusted with us. All right. So that is cloud computing for you. That is cloud computing. We are going to enter as we will be going. You will learn about AWS region. What is a region? A region is just simply a region is just simply a whole environment where so many data centers are placed. You can have, well, if we are talking about the case of Cameroon, if we are having Cameroon as a region, then maybe one data center may be placed in Yaoundé, another data center may be placed in Bafoussam, another data center may be placed in, I mean, all the data centers coming together form a region. So data centers coming together form a region, and each data center is called an availability group, an availability zone, please. Availability zone. Please take note of this. Each data center is called an availability zone. A collection of data centers forms an AWS region. Okay, so if you look at where we are now, if I go to my AWS account, this is where you see a region. Okay, up here you see a region up here. I am in the United States region in North Virginia. Okay, that is where I am. To see the particular data center in which I am creating, it is when I am going to be creating the machine that you will see the particular data center which I am going to create my machine. All right, so you understand that. Just understand that Region is a collection of availability zones, and each availability zone is made up of a data center. All right, like here, we should have here uh, this data center, this one like this, is an availability zone. All right, this data center is an availability zone. So each data center is called an availability zone. So a collection of so many availability zones, like 3 or 4 availability zones, make up an AWS region. All right, you should master that, please. It will be coming every now and then. Okay. So that is AWS for you. That is cloud computing for you. I hope I was able to break it down. If you do not understand anything, please ask a question in our WhatsApp forum. All right, ask in our WhatsApp forum. Somebody will answer for you. So, what is PaaS, SaaS, and yes? Okay, PaaS is what we call platform as a service. So, what is platform as a service? Platform as a service simply means that AWS is giving you the platform to come and do your building. If when you want to build, when you want to do your building, okay, you need a foundation. You need a foundation. So what AWS simply does is that they give you the place to the foundation for you to start your building. Okay, they already have the platform. Every building needs a platform upon which it is built. Okay, so AWS already has the platform for that building that you want to build. The platform is already there. All you need to do is you come there and then you build your infrastructure. This is the platform. Now what you need to just come and do here is come and build your infrastructure on this platform. So this is the first type of service AWS offers: platform as a service. All right, we'll see the resources that are being sent out as platform as a service, because some services are being sold out as platform as a service. Okay, so platform as a service is that they have already constructed the platform for you. You just have to come and build on top of it. You don't need to come and be building the platform again. You just come and build on top of it. That is the first type of service AWS gives. The foundation is already constructed for you. You just come and build upon it. When we go to those type of services, you understand what is platform actually as a service. All right, now the next thing that we are going to talk about is software as a service. For software as a service, it is simple. Now there are some cyber security softwares that AWS will give to you, like we'll call about DDoS, which is denial of service. Just that is an attack system by which people can always attack your servers, and AWS gives you like a WAF, some sort of a security software. It is a security software which you can actually defend yourself with. AWS gives you messaging services. Those are just, they are not physical things. Those are software services that AWS gives you. That's why they call SaaS, software as a service. Okay, now we have IaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. Now here, instead of you to come and be building this your thing here, AWS tells you that don't even build. Okay, we have provided a platform. We would even provide for you the infrastructure. AWS builds the infrastructure for you. The infrastructure is already built. They build the infrastructure for you. All you need is just come and use the infrastructure. Okay, it is already built. We have built the platform, we have built the infrastructure. You don't need to build anything, just come and use the infrastructure like that. All right, that is infrastructure as a service. We will go to the type of, when we take on any AWS service, it will either be a platform as a service, it will either be an infrastructure as a service, or it will either be a software as a service. Okay, and it must fall under compute, storage, or network. This is it here. It should fall under compute. What is compute? Compute is the capacity for a computer to process data. All right. What is responsible for compute? What is responsible for compute? The CPU. Okay. Compute is the capacity of any computer to process data, to process information. When we say process information, what do we actually mean by process information. Take a look at this. If you if you tell the computer that I have I have a farm, like now today, you tell ChatGPT that I have a farm. That farm has there's a software that has already been built into the computer, like ChatGPT. You come and tell ChatGPT that I have a farm. In the first farm, there is grass inside. In the second farm, there are cows there. In the third farm, let's say in the first farm, there is grass. In the second farm, I have kept some cows. In the third farm, it's just a field, and in the fourth farm, there are houses beside. Now, I want to plate maize. I want to go into maize production, right? Now, ask ChatGPT, among all these farms, which one is going to be the best for me to plate my maize? That means you are asking ChatGPT which one is going to be fertile for you to plate your maize. What will ChatGPT do? ChatGPT will actually start asking itself which are the components that are favorable for maize to grow. It will list all those components favorable for maize to grow. Then it comes back and check all your information here and see whether those components are there. And then it will ask again the second question, which are those components that can kill maize? It will list all the components that can kill maize, and then it will come and check into your field which components are those that are there. And then it will now look at the amount of the components that can kill maize and the amount of the components that can help maize to grow in all the various fields, and then it will compare which one is higher than the other, and then it will take the highest and place and tells you that place your maize where there were cows, it will grow, right? What ChatGPT has just done is process your information. So when we are talking about processing information, it is actually solving a problem. Most often you will be hearing me talk about processing information. It is actually the act of solving a problem and bringing out a solution. That is processing information. All right, that is the meaning of processing information. So if you whenever you ask ChatGPT anything, ChatGPT takes some time to bring it out for you, right? That time that it takes, it's called the processing time. And that speed of that processing time depends on what we call the CPU compute. All right. So CPU measures the speed. That is why it is measured in gigahertz. For those of you who are physics students, you should know that velocity is some sort of a component of speed. Okay. It is measured in gigahertz. All right. Then we have the network. Network is just the interconnection of servers. Okay, is the interconnection of servers and the interconnection of components. All right, and one network measures is what we call throughput. Okay, throughput. Now take an example. Let me bring you this throughput. You see, take an example of something like this. Throughput with respect to network is the amount of information that can flow within a system at the same time. The amount of information that can flow within a system at the same time. This is a system. This is a network. This is a network line. Let's consider this as a network line. Now, what is throughput? Throughput is how many cars can pass in this road at the same time. You see, so if just two cars can pass in this road at the same time, then the throughput will be measured as two, right? So throughput is how many cars can pass at the same time. That is the throughput. All right. But now the speed at which the cars can pass is now your internet speed and all the like. But we are talking about we always go for data throughput. If we can pass a lot of data at the same time, then that is important for us. That's the most important one. But for you, most of the time, what the internet provider sell for you is speed at which data is being passed. Maybe they'll give you some sort of a very thin throughput like this, They'll give you a very thin throughput like this, and then they'll start shouting and telling you that, well, we have this. They will never even tell you about throughput, but they will tell you that our speed is at this level. Your speed is at that level, but only one throughput you get. So throughput is the wideness of your internet connection, and then speed is how fast the data is passing through your connection. All right. So when we talk about internet network, you always be hearing things like throughput and all the like. Okay. Then storage. Storage here, all of us know storage is measured in gigabytes or terabytes. Okay. Now, with storage, you all know your hard drive. Every hard drive, you should say, I have a hard drive of 500 gigabyte. I have a hard drive of 250 gigabyte. I have a hard drive of 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. Now there are already hard drives of 20 terabytes that are already in the market. Okay, so storage is all about where you are going to keep that data. You see, when we were here, the data is all in transit. Here, the data is in transit. Now, storage is that house where the data is going to sit there. Okay, where the data is going to come and sit there, that is the storage. That data house where the data is going to come and sit here is the storage. All right. So that those are the various main components of the computer. I hope I was able to break it down for those newcomers who do not know anything. For those of you who are already versed with the computer, I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of time, but there are newcomers in it. All right. So, how to create your AWS account? Okay, how to create your AWS is actually easy. If you are on TikTok and if you are on WhatsApp, therefore, and specifically on Google Meet, therefore, you must have created an account somewhere. An AWS account is just simple. All what I need you to do is, guys, you need to have these following devices before you can create your account. Make sure that you create a new email. I would tell you that create a new email. You get why? Create a new email and have a debit or credit card. Have a debit or credit card. These are just the two requirements for you to create your AWS account. Have an email, have a debit or a credit card. It will work for you. All right. Now, when you have all this done, all you need to do is come up to the AWS platform. You go to you go to the to Google. You go to Google, guys, or you just come up here, you click uh, aws.amazon.com. Okay, aws.amazon.com. It will bring you here. You see the terminal that you are. Then you click on sign in or create and apply complete sign up, right? Because I started a sign in something and they are telling me to complete the sign up. Okay, when you click here, you can create a new AWS account. Okay, I can create a new AWS account from here. You click from here. Then now you are going to go through all these steps. Okay, I cannot go telling you the various creating another account. So when you come there, when you click on creating another account, they will ask you to give your email address. Okay, you provide an email address, you provide a password. Okay, and then you confirm your password, you give an account name. They will definitely ask you to give an account name. Okay, you have a 12 months free. It's a 12 months free tier. You will not pay anything, but be careful of using very, very high data processing devices. Here you are going to give choose whether your account should be professional or personal. Please take personal because it's just a practicing account. Take personal. Here you give your full name and then you give your number. Please give a number that is linked to your name. Give a number specifically for your name. All right. You choose your region and that is it. You come here, you put your credit balance. Okay. You put your credit card balance and you put when the card is going to expire or whatnot. I mean, your card holder's name, fill in all those information, and then boom, you have created your account. They'll ask you for your captcha and everything. You fill all the. They'll send you a mail to your to your inbox or to your message, or they'll give you a voice call. Which one you decide, either text message or voice call, you decide. And the 4-digit number that will send, I think it's a 6-digit number, 4-digit number that will be sent to you. You bring it back here and you fill it here and you press verify, and then you choose the last one, basic plans. Please don't take premium, don't take the business, take basic. The last one here, you click on this one, and uh, you are gone. That is all. Your account is created. When your account is created, you can come now and put your email address and put your password, and you get in. All right. So when you get into your account, how will it look like? This is how your account will look like. When you get into your account, this is how your account will look like. This is how your account will, when you get in, this is how your account will look like. All right. Now we are taking the very first layout of the account. How does the account look like? You see, there is a small three strips here. These three strips here are for you to know all the various resources of AWS. When you click these strips here, there are the resources here. You see, there are the various resources here. But if you want to have a generalistic view of all of them, you click on top here. You see this other box up here. When you click here, you have a general view of all the resources. Here they are. All right. So you click here to know all the AWS resources. All right. Then up here, you come up here is the various regions. When you click up here, you will see all the various regions of AWS. All right. I am presently in North Virginia. So if they are asked for you to change your region, you come here and you will change your region from North Virginia. You can go to Ohio, you can go to California, Oregon, and all whatnot. So your regions are found here. I talked to you about region. Okay. They will always be in indication as US East 1, US East 2, US East 3. All right. Then far to the left or to the right, which one you can put it, is your AWS name. Okay, the name that you get for AWS. And then when you click this name, you can either sign out or sign in or whatsoever. You see your account ID there. All right. Then here is a setting. You want to set up your account. I always like dark mode. So sometimes my account is always like this. You know, you people will always see my account in a dark mode like this. All right. Then any question you have, you can ask the support. You can ask the support team. You can ask the support team, and they will tell you whatsoever you want. They can give you support. And then these are notification, a notification bar. Then this is for a cloud shell. This is a shell terminal. We'll come to using a shell terminal. All right. All right. Now let's start by uh, seeing our first resource. The first resource that we are going to create in AWS is a server. Of course, a server. All right. We are going to see how we can create a server. We talked about a server as something that is created in on-site or in the cloud. This is a server. All right. Server. So in the AWS, a server is known as an EC2. We call it Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, that is EC2, right? One elastic, then C, then two. That's the meaning of it. All right. So let's see on how to create a server. Let's see on how to create a server. Jaden, I'll have to cut all these things I'm removed because of you. In order to create a server, guys, you come and take the resource EC2. Okay. When you take on EC2, you will see there is a yellow button around here, launch instances, launch instance. You click on launch instance, right? When you click on launch instance, you have this layout here. All right, you have this full layout here. Now, I will talk about the various components of an EC2 instance. Okay, the various components of an EC2 instance is we have one, the AMI. What is an AMI? It's an operating system. An AMI is just an operating system. Like most of you, you have your computers there. Your operating system is either the Windows or the Linux or the Mac. Okay, AMI is an operating system that you want to choose for your server. So you want to create a server. Which type of operating system do you want this server to have? Do you want the server to have a Linux operating system or a Windows operating system or a Mac operating system? Okay, that is an AMI. In the AWS, we call it Amazon Machine Image. All right, that's the very first thing. But first, you have to give the name of your computer. Let's say uh, test machine or test server. That's the name we are giving to the server. All right. Then we are choosing an AMI. We want to choose an operating system for that server. We want to choose an operating system for that server. So there are a series of operating system available for you. We have Mac, we have Amazon Linux, we have Ubuntu, we have Windows, we have all the like. Okay. So we'll first of all create the Linux server, and then after we'll create the Windows server. All right, let's create the Linux server. We go to Ubuntu. I'll take Ubuntu because Ubuntu is the mostly widely used. So we see when I click on Ubuntu, the Amazon machine image is updated by default. Okay, this is the operating system that will be installed in my machine. All right. Now I'll come down to the next thing is instant type. What is instant type, guys? Instant type is a combination of, remember I said every computer has a RAM and a CPU, all right? Instant type is a combination of the RAM. RAM is random access memory. It is responsible for your visualization. The RAM and the CPU. So when you decide on a particular instant type, a particular quantity of RAM will be given and a particular CPU will be given. So instant type is like the type T2 micro is an instant type. Okay, this one is a free tier and that is the one that we are going to take. The T2 micro has one vCPU and 1 GB of RAM. Okay, one vCPU and 1 GB of RAM. So as we are going lower, this is a T2 micro. There's a T2 small. It is having one CPU and 2 GB of RAM. There's a T2 medium, which is having two vCPU and 4 GB of RAM. So these ones now are very expensive machines and they are not free. Okay, so when you are creating your machines, guys, always stick to T2 micro for your test purposes. Don't go higher because if you go higher, you are going to incur prices. Don't go higher. Always stick to T2 micro. Okay, so it gives you a combination of CPU and memory. Now the key pair. So we have chosen our instant type as T2 micro. Now the key pair. For the key pair is some sort of a lock which you need in order to open your computer. If you see here, we say a key pair is needed. What is a key pair doing? A key pair is just some sort of the first lock that you need, the key that you need in order to open your computer. If you don't pass through the key, you are not going to have access to your computer. If you create a computer without this key, you will not be able to log into the computer. So a lot of people will be having a lot of problems with the key because they are unable to open the computer through the key. All right. So mark the key pair very well. All right. Now, the next thing that we are going to have is we create our key pair. If you have already created so many key pairs, you can choose from the number of key pairs that you have created here. If you have not yet created a key pair, you create a key pair here. I can create a key pair. Always make sure that you choose RSA. Take your key pair as RSA and choose it as PEM. Okay, choose it as PEM. So, but we are going to while using Linux, we are going to convert this PEM to PPK, okay? But always choose your key pair as PEM, and then you choose create. When I click create, take a look at something up here. A key will be, I have to first of all give the key name. Uh, um, Tutor key. I just put it tutor key. That's the name of my key, tutor key. And then I click create. Something will be downloaded up here. You see a key has been downloaded. I have to take it and put it. You put the key where you want it to be kept. So I have a file where most of my keys are kept. I cut the key. There is AWS keys here. I paste the key here, right? I want all my keys to be kept here. All right. I've created my key pair. Then I come down now. I want to create a security group. Okay. There are security group that are already existing. So I can click on select existing security group. But now I want to create a security group. We are starting from afresh. We want to create a new security group. And in order to name your security group, you have to first of all climb up and create this, click on this edit button. Okay. When you click on this edit button, you are going to come down now, and then you choose your security group will be named as launch wizard. All right, you have to wipe it now, and you are going to create a new security group. I will name it tutor security group. Then you have to give the description of that security group. I will give the same description here. I'll give the same description, tutor security group. So let us give the same name, Koli. Okay, tutor security group. Now, what is a security group? Let us talk about security group a bit. Now, whenever you are going to create your servers, guys, when you create your server like this, okay, your server is going to be surrounded by a security wall. This security wall like this is going to surround your server. The reason for this security group is just that it can give access to particular people. For example, Paul can be given access to this server, but not Peter. Peter will not be given access to this server. Andrew can be given access, but not John. Okay. Andrew can be given access, but not John. Okay. These people like this, each one can be given access accordingly. Paul can have access, but Peter will not have access. Andrew will have access, but John will not have access. It is all configured at the level of the security group. Okay, we'll see how all that is being considered. So, security group is all about giving control on who is having access to that your particular server. All right, so let us come down here. You see that we are creating a Linux machine. The default port for the Windows machine is 22. So when you create a security group, you must open an opening. It's like a wall. When you build a wall, you must open a door. Okay. When you build a wall, you must open a door. So the door that we are going to be opening is a port number. And when you open that door, the keys are going to be given only to Paul and not John and not Andrew. So, uh, the port number is just like a door, and when you open the door, you are going to give the keys to Paul, give the keys to Andrew, but not Peter and John. All right, good. So let's see how it is being done. The default port number is 22, and it is here that you can decide on who to give the security access to. But we'll come to all that when we'll be actually stressing more on security. Okay. And then now we have 8 gigabyte as its storage. Okay, 8 gigabyte as the storage, which is enough for any Linux machine. 8 gigabyte is okay. Now you can come here, up here, number of instances. I can decide and create 5 or 6 servers at the same time, or I can create one server at the same time. So let me create one, guys. So if you increase the number here, the number of servers is going to be increased. So I click on launch instance. Okay, my server is being created now. My server is on the way to be created. It has been created. Okay, now I want to see the server. Here is my server that has been created, guys. If I click on refresh up here, I will see the server. The server is already running. Okay, refresh. Status check is initializing. Okay, now I want the status check to be 2 on 2, and I will be capable of logging into the server. All right, my server is okay and running. Now the next thing is I have a server that is running. Okay, I have a server that is running. How can I log into this server? Like, how can I log into a server and start doing my business? All right. The way I can log into this server is by using uh, Git Bash. Okay, is by using Git Bash. So all of you guys install Git Bash. Git Bash is just a normal, simple program to be installed. Okay, just go to Google, just go to Google, and then you search for Git Bash. All right, when you search for Git Bash, you are going to see this is Git Bash, the first one that comes out. You are going to download for Windows. If you are for Windows, download Git Bash, and you're going to click on 62-bit for Windows. If you are running a 62-bit like me, like standalone installer, not portable, standalone installer, you're going to click on uh, 64-bit, and the thing is going to download for you. Okay, I've already downloaded it. So when it downloads for you, what you do is you just go there. Here is my own Git Bash. You click on it, and it will install. You just give it installation. You click next, 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 next. All you have to do is just click next, 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 next. The thing will get installed. Okay, I don't want to install it again. Okay, so when you install Git Bash, what you are going to do is at the end of your installation, you are going to see when you right click inside your computer, you are going to see these two options now that will come up: open Git GUI and open Git Bash here. These two will come out. All right. Now, where you kept your key pair, remember that my key pair is kept in this folder AWS keys. All right, where you kept your key pair, enter inside that particular place that you kept your key pair. I am inside there. I right click inside there. You see, that's where I'm right clicking, and I'm opening Git Bash there. If you don't open your Git Bash where you place your key pair, it will not work. So you open your Git Bash where your key, this is my key, tutor key. All right, I open my Git Bash here, right? When I open my Git Bash here, here is how my Git Bash appears. All right. Now, I will need to, first of all, convert this key. I will need to, first of all, convert this key from .pem to .ppk. Linux machines take .ppk. Okay. So I'll need to convert this key from .pem to .ppk. What do I need in order to convert this key from .pem to .ppk? I need an application. It is called Putigen. All right. So I will send this application directly for us in our forum. For those of you who are in the forum, I'll send this application Putigen directly for you in the forum. You can just take it from there and be using. Okay, you don't need to go and download, or you can still go on site and take and look at Putigen. You will see Putigen. Okay, but I'll send it directly in the forum. All right. So you need this application Putigen. When I open Putigen like this, what I see is this layout. What I need to do is I click on load, and then I go to where my AWS keys are found, keys, and then I come down here. I change this putty private key. I change it to all files, and then I will see my TikTok uh, key. Where's my TikTok.pem? This is it, tutor key.pem. I click on it, and then I click open. It is loaded successfully. Then I just save private. Okay, save private. I said yes, I want to save. Now I said the good practice is always save the key at the same name that the original key was having. So I will save the key tutor key, but I'll cancel the .pem. Save the key tutor key. The application will give you .ppk. Okay, I'll just save it tutor key. Don't put the .pem. Always wipe the .pem. Tutor key, the same name like the original PEM key, tutor key, and then I'll press and register or register, and that's all. That's it, guys. You will see now that I will have two tutor keys. There's one tutor key that is PEM, and there's one tutor key that is .ppk. Okay, now I can open my Git bash here. I can open my Git bash here. Click and open Git bash here, and then I can connect now to my EC2 instance. How do I connect to my EC2 instance? Here is my EC2 instance. If I click here, I will see now 2 on 2 check pass. I click on my EC2 instance and then I come to connect, right? I take on SSH client and then I'll come. There is an example here and a long key pair, something written here. Just copy this, right? Copy this and then come to your key pair, come to your Git bash, and then you paste there, okay, and you press enter, and then you click on, you type yes, and I am in my Linux. I am in my Linux machine. Okay, here is my Linux machine. All right. As to what you can do with Linux, we are going to continue from there in our next session. So I am in my Linux machine, and that is what we wanted to see. I have signed into my Linux machine. All right. So next is we are going to create a Windows machine. All right, we have created our Linux machine. Now let us create a Windows machine. What do? We start from launch instances. As usual, we go from launch instances, and then when we go to launch instances, we'll start with a name. We are going to write Windows Server. Let's give the name Windows Server, guys. Windows Server, and then we choose the AMI that we are going to choose now is Windows. I'm choosing the AMI Windows, and for Windows we are going to choose the free tier instance type 2. The AMI is 2025 base. Okay, Windows Server 2025 base. Okay, for Windows, for Linux there are T3 series, but for Windows it is Linux is T2 series, Windows is T3 series. Okay, so you always take the T3 micro. It is free of charge. And then for key pair, let us choose the same key pair that we already created. Let's not create again another key pair. And then for security group, still, let us choose the security group. You just need to create this thing once and you'll just be using what you have created. Okay, let us choose the security group that we already created. We created a security group called tutor security group. So let's just take the security group that we already created. And then for storage, we have the storage that is given for us is 30 gigabyte. Okay, which is good for us. 30 gigabyte is enough for us. And then for the number of instances that we want to create, we leave it at 1 and then we launch. So our Windows instance has been created. Our Windows instance has been created. Now for Windows, you must wait for 4 minutes before you are able to connect to the Windows instance. Why are we waiting for 4 minutes? Because we need to generate our password. Okay, so for Windows Server, we click on the server, we click on connect. Something will be downloaded here, guys. Not now. We click on connect, and then we come to RDP client, right? And then you say download remote desktop file. Okay, you can download remote desktop file. Now when I will download this remote desktop file, I will click on it. Something will be downloaded here, guys. You see, I conserve it, I open it, I say connect. It will ask for a password. It will ask me for a password, and that is the password that I need to generate and put. There's an there's a problem. There's a problem. I need to wait for 4 minutes. Maybe I need to wait for 4 minutes before I'm able to connect. The machine is still booting. Yeah. So for Windows, you see, you need to really wait for at least 4 minutes before you can do your generation of your password. So let us be patient for it to actually pass the status check, guys. It is still initializing with the status check. At least for Linux, you can sign in without the status check passed for Linux, but for Windows, as we are discovering, you cannot sign in without the status check pass. So it is a boring waiting time. So most often, if you want to create your instances, always create the Windows instance first before you create your Linux instance. It will help you. Always create the Linux instance, the Windows first, so that by the time it is doing all this, it's check up and all whatnot. You are creating the other one. Let's see if it is able to connect now. RDP, download remote desktop, conserve, open, connect. You may not be able to connect to the port 3389 may need to be open in order to be accessible. The current associated security group does not have port. Okay, this is something I would like to show you guys. Now for Linux, we use the same security group as we created for Windows, but the problem is the security group for Linux is different from the security group for Windows. The port for the security group for Linux is different for the port for the security group for Linux. Okay, all our status checks are passed now, but we have to do one thing. We have to come to security, right? I will tell you that when you are creating a Windows machine, create a security group for Windows, okay? Because you might not know how to go about this thing that I'm going to do now. I'll come to security, right? I'll come to security group. Here is my security group, right? Here's a security group. I'll click on a security group. Now I'll have to open another port, right? Edit inbound rules. I have to open another port. I say add rule. Now I am going to add an RDP rule. I can just open all traffic, okay? Add all traffic to anywhere, anywhere, and I save, okay? All my traffic is open to anywhere. See how they are warning me that your traffic is open to anywhere. Recommend setting security groups. Yes, I know that it's open to anywhere. I save, okay? Now, let us go and see if we can actually open our instance. Click on our instance, click on connect, RDP. We try to see if it is. First of all, wait. Let's go and see something. Security group. I've edit inbound rules. Let me edit also inbound rules. Let me edit outbound rules. Edit outbound rules. Yes. Add a rule. All traffic anywhere IPv4 safe. Okay, okay, it already exists. All right, this one is already existing. Okay, okay, yeah, it is the very first one. It's opening to everywhere. Okay, I think we are good. I think we are good. Go to instances and then go to connect, RDP client. Okay, we are fine. And then download, and then conserve, open, connect. So it is asking us now for a password, guys. Asking us for a password. Now we click here to get your password. Upload your private key. Then you go now to your where you kept your keys, and then you click on your PEM, not PPK now, PEM, and then you open, and then decrypt password, and then you copy your password. Here is your password. I copy my password now. I come back to my connector. I click and I paste my password there, and I say okay, and I say yes, and I am into my Windows machine. It took us some time just because we decided to use the same security group of Linux as of Windows. So I will advise you always create a security group for Windows separate, and always create a security group for Linux separate. Okay, or you can create one security group and open all the ports. Okay, we are going to come into this issue of security groups and ports, and you will see how the nitty-gritty of security groups and ports is all about. Okay, but the most important thing is we have created both the Linux machine, we have logged into the Linux machine, we have created both the Windows machine, and we have logged into the machine. So this is your brand new Windows computer. Okay, your brand new Windows computer, which is available where? In the cloud. This computer is somewhere in North Virginia. Okay, in this computer now, you can be installing your software, you can be installing all your things inside. If somebody steals your physical computer now, you have no problem. Their computer is available in the cloud. This is what we call cloud computing, guys. This is just what is all about cloud computing. There is nothing difficult in it. There is nothing superstitious in it. There is nothing complicated in it. You just need to keep practicing all this. All what I've done, just keep practicing it every blessed day, guys. I want to see pictures on the forum. I want to see success stories on the forum. I want to see obstacles that people are encountering. Post questions in the forum. There is somebody who is capable to explain to you and is going to be answering all your questions. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed the very first session. I insist that whenever you create your systems, always, 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 guys, always destroy them before you leave. Whenever you create your system, always destroy them. I am clicking both my Linux. First of all, I want to close it here. Yes, I am going to destroy the system before I leave. Terminate, always terminate them. Always terminate them. It's very important. Always terminate them. Okay, always terminate them. When they are terminated before you can shut down your system, always terminate them. All right, all right, guys. We are going to see in our next session.